Welcome to this episode of the Bold Book Geek. Let's talk about Pokemon TCG Pocket. My name is Will, I host this. Like, sub and share this video around and tell me what you think in the comments below. And don't forget, if you want to join my Patreon or become a member here, we have exclusive content that you will only get in those two places. So, let's talk about Pokemon TCG Pocket. Pokemon TCG Pocket has been out a little while, and this is kind of a follow-up to the broken and unbalanced video I made. But I felt like I needed to go a little deeper, and I know none of you really care about this stuff, but I do, and it's my channel, so hi. It's one of those games that feels, at this point, kind of unnecessary. Pokemon TCG has existed in some form or another for years online. And that's not that's a statement of truth here. It's existed for years, and you can play a far more superior game, a far more fun game using the Pokemon Live app, which is firmly available on mobile, and you don't really have to spend money on it. But we'll get to that a bit later. I've been doing this for 25 years, and I'm not joking, and I was really excited about Pokemon TCG Pocket, and at the beginning, it delivered on those promises. Fast-paced battles, nice card pool, and it was all wrapped up in a convenient mobile app. And for a moment, like I said, it delivered on that. The first few games captured the excitement of drawing cards, powering up Pokemon, and landing big attacks. But the deeper I dove into this game, the flaws overshadowed the charm. From this bizarre, somewhat broken, unbalanced meta to extremely repetitive gameplay and a blatant pay-to-win system, I feel like I need to go into it. And yeah, I know this is going to change. It's a year from now, it won't be the same game that I'm playing now, so I'm going to be doing regular updates on this here and there. And seeing how it changes and seeing if they can kind of pull it back from the problems that are quite blatant. At first, it's a joy to play. Pre-built decks, quick matches make it easy to jump in and start battles. The simplified version of the Pokemon TCG for a quick game at 2 o'clock in the morning or when you're on a bus, great. And those simple mechanics did take me back to the early days of playing at my first few hard shops, or at home, or with friends, at the kitchen table. But the honeymoon period was pretty much over within a couple of days, and progress slowed to a crawl, and earning new cards became an exercise in frustration. And it was very apparent without spending more money on packs, upgrading your deck to remain competitive can feel nearly impossible. And yes, I know I'm going to get the comments, I got these cards in my first packs, or I'm free to play and it's all good. Yeah, but the packs are random, and some people are getting basically nothing, and other people are getting really good stuff. Like, it's a very bizarre mix. And that kind of stifles the fun here, I think. And that fun quickly becomes a slog. One of the game's most frustrating issues that I've seen through doing the PvP is how quickly battles are decided. After just a turn or two, it's often clear who's going to win or lose, and the meta revolves around who can set up their key Pokemon EX cards fastest. Mewtwo EX, or Moltres or Lapras, whatever one's Pikachu EX, once those heavy hitters are on the field, the game essentially plays itself, and depending on how fast you can get them set up, that's the real issue here. Once they're set up, you know who's going to win. There is a lack of depth, and it does drain the excitement from battles. They don't feel dynamic, they feel predictable. And it's like watching the same formula over and over again. Oddly, and this is something I find really strange, is that Pokemon TCG Pocket punishes players for going first. And yeah, going first can be an advantage in TCGs, but not always the case. Going first or going second, if you know what you're doing, you can pretty much handle things. We're not talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! That's a whole different discussion. Here it feels like a disadvantage. The second player gets, when they go first, It's really odd. So you can set up on your first turn, play cards, and flip coins to try and get energies on your Pokemon as quickly as possible, but you can't do anything. But if you don't have that luck, and the second player's first turn can put an energy on and attack on that turn, it's a fast-paced format, but this small difference escalates really quickly, making it hard for, if you don't have a lot of luck, first turn players to recover. The imbalance distracts from the gameplay experience, especially when matches where the first turns are so basically the decision of how it's going to go. And that gets really frustrating to play. And then you have single type deck dominance. Another major flaw is the lack of viable deck strategies. The meta heavily favours single type decks, focusing all your resources of one energy type for maximum efficiency. Multi-type decks or mixed decks are typically more fun, and traditionally I've always ran a mixed deck. And here you can't do that. You're basically outright punished, and splitting energy types results in much slower setup and inconsistent gameplay, and it honestly leaves mixed decks unable to compete with streamlined single types. This design choice is not great, and it makes matches feel monotonous. Players gravitate towards single type decks, resulting in endless battles against the same archetypes. If you're not running a high powered deck full of EX cards of a single type, you're at a severe disadvantage, and most of the type cards you're going to face are kind of like that. Here is a deck. I have 2 Articunos and a Lampress, and the rest are just random cards. Also, the trainer cards are lacking severely. There's no disruption, which it needs an energy removal, it needs other strategies. I also think taking away the energy cards was a mistake in this. Because of the way the energy pools work, mixed decks are a major problem. And as you progress, the game's reliance on microtransactions becomes painfully obvious. Grinding for cards' free-to-play methods is unreliably slow. Without access to powerful EX cards, your chances of winning are slim. Deck building options are severely limited. Again, most strategies revolve around powering up a single EX card. There's no room for experimentation, and if you want to play competitively, you need to spend money. And a game with free currency systems as well. And this is just a me thing. There is a joy to opening packs. There always has been. I enjoy it. It's cathartic. But this excitement is missing here. And without a meaningful trade system or a way of getting rid of the cards that you actually want to get what you want, that's a problem. Pokemon TCG Live allows you to keep 4 copies of every card. Any other doubles or whatever, or 5th, 6th cards get turned into currency for the game. And it makes it feel kind of hollow. It's a gimmick rather than an actual experience. And it needs to bring in the trade mechanic, and I don't know why they haven't yet. Pulling duplicate cards or useless rare cards feels like a waste, especially when this game is so slow in progression. And I'm looking at players and thinking, how did you get to level 30 so quick? And honestly, this feels like a stripped back version of TCG Live. It feels a little outdated, and despite the issues later, Marvel Snap embraced their digital nature, with dynamic battles, creative card effects. It wasn't just card splash effect done, and the meta was evolving. Hopefully they can move on from this weird meta. But by contrast, Pocket feels shallow. It's a hollow game experience, and repetitive nature makes it more of a chore than a fun escape. Because these kind of games, for me, are 2 o'clock in the morning and I can't sleep. My advice is get Pokemon TCG Live. You don't actually have to spend money if you know what you're doing. Yes, it's a little slower, but it's far more balanced, and you can earn cards. You can earn packs. You can exchange for them. And that's great fun. But you feel like you've earned something. With this, it's just, why do I have 17 of these cards and I can't use them? Or this useless rare one that doesn't really do much. Pokemon TCG Pocket is more about collecting than battling, I know, and everyone's going to have a different experience, but my experience of this has been kind of meh at the moment. Like I said, you don't even have to buy packs in Pokemon TCG Live. There's no in-game currency that you pay for with real money. You can earn this stuff pretty easily. Pokemon Pocket TCG had the ingredients to be a standout app, a beloved franchise, nostalgia appeal, a built-in fan base, but the repetitive gameplay, extremely imbalanced mechanics, and pay-to-win structure hold it back. The game's reliance on single-type decks, shallow meta, and frustrating grind strips the fun out of what should have been fun. And unless major updates are done to address these issues, Pokemon TCG Pocket will remain an underwhelming experience. If you want the honest truth, better left untouched right now. Seriously, download Pokemon TCG Live and be ready to have some fun. Are you going to win every battle? No. But right now, you're far better off sticking with the actual TCG Live, the physical game, or polished alternatives. Save time, your money, and play those instead until this is fixed. Because it can be fixed, but it needs to be done fast. Because already players are bored and stepping away.